Thank you. I see some hungry faces. This is going to be short and sweet. The organizers asked me what should be my title on the program. They were like, should we call you expert in X or Y? Should we call you distinguished scholar at your university? Should we call you the founder of this or that organization? And I'm like, no. Just call me a student and a teaching assistant, because that's who I am. Thank you for agreeing with that title. If you look at your programs, I'm probably one of the few people or speakers that is not a CEO or a founder or a president of something. And I'm proud to be that person. The reason I shared this story about my title in the program is because I think we should all embrace the kind of leaders we are. I think we've learned that leaders are always CEOs, they're always presidents, they're founders of something, they're anchormen or just men, right? But the truth is that leaders come in many shapes and forms: young, old, female, male, journalists, cooks, librarians, you name it. It is not the label or the circumstance that defines you. It is what you do, how you do it, and who you choose to be. So if you're someone that maybe doesn't fit this president CEO model of a leader, it's fine. Stop trying to fit that model. Embrace the qualities that make you the leader you are and start to be that leader. That's my first lesson, which I actually learned reflecting on why I was invited here when I am a student and a teaching assistant. But the second lesson is, okay, great, we feel like leaders. We probably all feel like leaders because we're here. But then, what if we're not sure what is our passion? What if we're not sure how we want to help? We know we want to play Magali's game. We just don't know what game. That is okay. That is okay. So I want to raise of hands. Who in this room is not a CEO or hasn't started a startup or hasn't founded an organization? Please. Okay. I'm not alone. But you guys, we are going to be fine. We're going to be great. The one thing I want you all to remember, and this is a quote by a writer, Mike Ransom, is that passion, we've all talked about passion today, right? But passion, and I quote, is the result of action, not the cause of it. So I'm going to paint a picture of a very common occurrence in my days, which I think might also be common in many of your lives. I'm laying in bed with my laptop on my legs, watching a super exciting documentary, or maybe reading about a very cool public service project, or hearing a very, very inspiring politician deliver a speech. And then I just sit there, and I'm like, oh my God, what is my passion? I haven't started a startup. I'm not a founder of something. What do I wake up for every day? What would I risk my life for? And then, you're freaking out, sitting in bed. And what I've realized is that answers to these questions don't come to you when you're freaking out, sitting in your bed. Right? Or let me know if they have, because it totally hasn't happened to me, unfortunately. Answers to these questions happen when you go out there and you get involved in projects, even when you're not sure that they're the best fit. They come to you when you start meeting new people, making new connections, when you start taking different classes. So remember, passion is the result of action, not the cause of it. And the last lesson is, well, okay, great. I found a passion. I found a direction that I want to work towards. I found the game that I want to play. Okay, that's great. Keep your goal in mind, but take it one step at a time. And I know we hear this all the time. It's like, yeah, step by step. It's like old advice. But the way I really learned this was when I was climbing a 5,000-meter peak in the Himalayas last summer. I know that's probably not the experience you were looking to find here, but that's what I have. So I was climbing this, and I saw the Sherpas, the local climbing guides, and they would carry 50 kilograms on their backs for hundreds of kilometers all the way up to the summit. In the meantime, I'm here like, hey, are we there yet? How much farther do we have to hike today? Are we going to be in time at base camp? Is the weather going to be good on summit day? Until after a few days, one of the guides, Gautam, he turns around and he's like, listen, You make all this effort to come to Nepal to climb. And then when you come here, all you do is ask when it's going to be over. How? Why? All you want to know is how much more you have to climb. Didn't you come to do this? We're just trekking. Now we just trekking, he told me. And he was right. At that moment, we were just trekking. While the Sherpas kept their goal in mind, they literally did not look a step ahead of them because they had a band here which was pulling their head down with all the weight from the backpacks. They couldn't look at more than a step ahead. I realized that overwhelming myself with thoughts of this icy summit or the many kilometers that were ahead was no good. So don't let the magnitude of your goals get in the way of actually achieving them. Be like the Sherpas, keep your goal in mind, but take it one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloriana.